had the brake pedal out, we had the shifter out, everything was going smoothly. We were getting ready to cut the hole for the master cylinder, the drill didn't fit. So we were like, alright, let's pull the exhaust and do the drive shaft and pull the trans. Alright, so this is going to be part 4 of manual swapping Guillermo's IS300 with the W58. In the first video, we quickly went over all the parts required to manual swap an IS300 that has a W58. In the second video, we disassembled all the automatic parts. In the third video, we started assembling all the manual parts, but we ran short on time because Guillermo has work, and it is the Thanksgiving time this week, so he can't miss work. And basically in this video, I'm going to be finishing up the manual swap on Guillermo's car for him because his birthday's on Saturday. And that's when we originally planned on finishing the car, but what I want to do instead is on Friday, I want to surprise him with the car while he's at work. So he has an early birthday gift and he could drive the car on his birthday. So what I'm going to start with is, in the last video, I accidentally installed the trans cross member upside down. So I'm going to flip that. And basically I'm going to finish up everything underneath the car, so I'm going to put the exhaust on, and from there I'm going to move on to the inside, assemble the pedals. Sorry, my dog's distracting me. And I'm going to put the master, the slave on, bleed it, and we should be good. So yesterday what we ended up doing is we installed this cross member upside down. There's a bend in this cross member that we have going upwards like this, but really it should go down. And normally I wouldn't have even bothered flipping it back because it does tuck the trans up even higher and the drive shaft line is pretty straight. But the issue we have right now is the shifter is hitting the body of the car pretty hard. And so what I'm thinking is when we flip this upside down to the proper way, it'll bring the shifter down and it won't hit the chassis anymore. And then also, we didn't know that this was upside down because on Xcessive's website and everything, it doesn't say the direction to put this on. But I randomly went on eBay and found a knockoff of this and noticed they all bend down. So yeah, I'm gonna flip it. It should fix a lot of our problems, and then we'll continue on to putting this Y pipe on and be done underneath the car. So basically when you look at this gap right here, you can see how we had the trans way too high when we had the bracket upside down, and that's what I think is causing the shifter to hit the chassis. So now that it's flipped, it should be okay, and we'll go from there. I feel like I should be able to capture it. So I just finished putting together everything underneath the car, including the exhaust and the trans bracket that we put upside down and some shielding. So what we're doing right now is we're going to finish putting together everything we took apart in the engine bay to take the header out. So we already plugged in the O2 sensors if anyone is curious. There are 2 plugs for it right over here. The silver ones are for the pre-cats, gray is for post-cats, if that helps anyone. The camera woman actually pointed it out to me. And then the other one is right here. So now we're gonna put together the intake and we should be done here. And we can move on to the pedals and then the wiring, and then we could drive it. Wrapping up the intake and everything in the engine bay. So now what we're going to do is move on to the interior. So we're going to do the center console, but before that we're going to put the little tunnel brace on and finish the shifter. And then after that, we're gonna do the pedals. And after we're done with the pedals, we're gonna do the master, the line, the slave, bleed it. Then we're just gonna do some quick wiring, just jumping the neutral safety switch and wiring the reverse lights. And then hopefully by tonight, we could drive it, if not tomorrow morning. Before putting the shifter together, which is just 3 bolts right here, and then putting the tunnel in and everything, I realized we never filled the trans, so I'm just gonna fill it up real quick with about 3 quarts of MT90 through the shifter hole, which is right there. And then we can continue on putting everything in the center together. This is the shifter surround we're gonna be using to insulate the heat and everything from coming in through the trans tunnel. What I did really quick is I cut a vacuum line down in the middle in half and wrapped it all the way around just to absorb some of the heat and fumes from coming in the cabin, and also to prevent this thing from rattling and being annoying. I don't remember what brand tunnel this is, but I remember it was advertised as a W55 and 58 tunnel. That is not true. What I had to do to make it fit is I had to flip the entire thing upside down, and the holes are offset, so it did make it so 2 of the holes don't line up anymore. I think I already mentioned this, but I'm gonna mention it again just in case. 2 holes do line up if you flip it, but 2 don't, so I self-tapped there. But then the issue was, since this was moved so far forward, and this is a straight area while the tunnel is curved down, there was a giant gap on the side. So what we did to fill that, me and the camera woman, is we got some aluminum tape, which is used on like HVAC systems to insulate heat and stuff, and we taped the sides of the tunnel, which should insulate it. And then the other issue we have is we had to notch the boot just to be able to get in the rest of the gears, which is whatever, but what can you do? It can't go any more back because this is hitting the trans, so it is what it is. This is how it's gonna have to be. Now what I'm gonna do is put the center console together. So we didn't really do anything yesterday because it was Thanksgiving, but I did record a little time lapse of putting the clutch pedal together. If anyone needs to see how this goes together, you could just pause wherever you need to look, but it's just a few pieces you throw together. I just followed a diagram I found online. I didn't want to go step by step on this because I didn't really know what I was doing, but it's pretty straightforward. So all we had to do today is put the clutch pedal in, the brake pedal in, that little plastic surround for the shifter just clips in, and then just 2 major things. We have to put the clutch hydraulics in and bleed it, and then do some basic wiring, just the reverse lights and the neutral safety switch. Then this car should run. We only have an hour because Guillermo's lunch break is in an hour where I want to surprise him, so I might be rushing, but I am going to try to document this as much as possible. So yeah. Hopefully everything goes smoothly and I can surprise him for his birthday. What I'm going to be starting on is the clutch hydraulics, just to get out of the way. What I like to do before even installing the clutch hydraulics is bench bleed the master, because I know if you don't bench bleed a master, there could be some air that could get stuck in it and you might have a little finicky clutch pedal. So to do that, all you have to do is attach the stainless line to the port on the master, and the port that would go on the slave, you just feed it back into the reservoir and pump it by hand until you don't see any more bubbles coming out. After that, you just take it out of the reservoir, bolt it onto the slave, and then we could finish bleeding it inside the car. The reason I want to start with the clutch hydraulics is because the clutch pedal actually bolts on these threads onto the master. So after we slip the master in, I could bolt the clutch pedal in, and at the same time I'll put the new brake pedal in. And then after that, we can move on to wiring, which we're only going to do the basic wiring, which is the reverse lights and jumping the neutral safety switch. And now you can see there's going to be bubbles coming out. just want to do this really slowly so you don't tear it. I'm not going to go too tight because I'm going to rotate this. I got the automatic trans computer out of the way, so before I put the clutch pedal in, I'm going to put the manual brake pedal in just to make sure. Well, it's more so because I looked in there and it seems like it'll be easier to do the brake pedal than the clutch pedal, just because the clutch pedal has a little bit more room on the sides and this is pinched in the middle between the gas pedal and the clutch pedal. So I'm gonna swap this over first. I couldn't get the clutch pedal in for a while now, but I think it's because that the bolt is too short to fit through the clutch pedal. Like, this is the bolt that was holding a bracket in the place where the clutch pedal bolts are before. You can see how short it is. This is the bolt they supplied. And if you look through here, there's barely any room here to bring it in. And this is the bolt I have that I'm gonna try right now. That's a little bit longer. And if it goes in right now, I know that the bolt was too short. So I got the pedal all bolted in, but before I attach the master's rod onto the pedal, I wanna actually attach the slave to the trans so I don't accidentally press the clutch pedal in and blow out the slave. So I'm gonna go under the car and bolt on the slave onto the trans right now. So the slave just gets held on by 2 bolts right here on the bell housing and connects to the fork. So I'm just gonna attach that right now. And since I didn't put a full bleed on the system, it should just go in. If I fully bled everything right now, it will be really hard to press the slave in to get it in, which is why we're doing the final bleeding once everything is together. Yeah, see, this one's, so I'll probably strip the other one, but I'm just not gonna think about that right now. The last 2 things we have to do right now is just bleed the slave, which is right here, and then do some wiring. I'm choosing to do the wiring first just because it's a little bit cleaner and I don't want to do the slave, get dirty, and then touch wires. So all I'm gonna do for now is the basic wiring just because I don't have the emulator with me. So to get the car just driving, there are 2 black wires on this transmission plug right here. We're just gonna wire them together, and that's gonna be like a neutral safety switch bypass. And then for the reverse lights on the top of the plug right here, there are 2 red wires, red and black and red and blue. We're gonna wire that over here to the reverse lights on the trans, which is on the left side. It doesn't matter which wires go to which here, just because it's not like a power and a ground. It's just like we need to make a connection so you can wire it any way you want. And then after that, we're gonna bleed the slave, and then we can start driving it and sorting it out before we go and surprise Guillermo. There, and right there. I'm probably just gonna temporarily zip tie these wires over here to the side because I know we still have to do the emulator, but yeah, it should be fine right here for now. So I just did the temporary wiring on Guillermo's car. For now, I just zip tied everything out of the way because I know I need to pull it into the engine bay when we do the emulator and the resistors. But for now, just to drive the car and surprise them, this should be fine. And now all we have to do is bleed the slave and we should be able to drive it. Ready? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have the camera woman pump the clutch pedal a few times and then hold it when I say hold. Once you hold it, I'm gonna open the bleeder and have this catch the fluid. We're just gonna keep doing that until we have no more bubbles coming out. And we're gonna make sure we don't run the master dry, otherwise we're gonna introduce air bubbles, so hopefully we keep an eye on that.
That does not sound good.
What's hitting?
I don't know, but it's smoking.
don't think that was part of the swap. Reverse now.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my god, his glass is dirty. You don't even have any fucking wiper fluid? This broke bitch. Alright. So this is the first drive after the manual swap, and also his visor hits the mirror. Yeah, and this is also my first time driving his car, so we'll see how this goes.
Let me take my drink.
Wow, that's loud.
Oh my goodness, that sounds terrible. Will it be that loud when he gets a shift boot?
No, look.
Oh, okay.
It's actually pretty good. It's not grinding. The trans is loud. It's not the boot. It's just that the trans itself is loud.
But when you get a boot,
No, his trans is just pretty loud.
that sucks.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be happy about that.
The $600 trans.
I need to adjust his brakes. Yeah, that's what you get with a $600 W58. It's like a stock car though. Oh yeah, it's for sure slow as shit. That was all the way down. It grinds for it. At least it did that one time. Fourth is the only quiet gear. I'm gonna put the windows up. Oh my god, this guy's alignment is shit. I wonder if it grinds out downshifts. Yeah, a little bit. It's also hard to tell that I'm downshifting when he has a stock exhaust.
Oh, because you can't hear it.
No.
Yep.
Fourth gear is fine. Every other gear sucks. Yeah, oh, it grinds fourth. It does it every time. So yeah, fourth has a little grind. My guess is after he experiences this car, he gets used to driving manual, we're gonna end up changing this trans again, because this is kind of garbage. So as you guys saw from the first drive, this transmission isn't perfect. We didn't know that, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been blown up. It's just loud as shit. So yeah, now we just had to surprise Guillermo. Ow.
So don't put the e-brake up when it's in reverse.
My finger was stuck. Where is it?
He's coming, he's coming.
There he is.
Is that?
Let's see if he realizes.
There's no way he can't realize at this
know.
point. Look.
Huh? Wait.
Hey, it's Alex.
Why isn't it a camera?
You finished the car?
Hey, bro, why was
Thank you.
Why do you think I was trying to get you to go to lunch, man? You're supposed to cooperate.
I wanted you to be able to drive it on your birthday.
What the fuck? Thank you. What the fuck?
The shift boot didn't fit though.
Did it? What the fuck?
That light's not working.
And this one.
No, I think it's just unplugged. What the fuck?
Wait,
That's crazy. Everything but
Whoa, don't kill me.
That's crazy.
damn, honestly, thank you. I appreciate you. That's crazy.
Hey, we're betting Bovo right now if he stalls.
He's gonna stall.
I'm gonna win. By the way, I'm predicting that he is gonna stall, right?
No, I am.
Nobody.
Whoa, what you mean?
I said.
Hey, Vivo, you better not stall, bro. I got some boba on the line.
I mean, you won't even know if he stalls. Oh, the seat doesn't go anywhere forward. I told you we could get on a pillow.
Yeah.
Don't hit the curve.
Give me that 90, bro. I believe. Give my fucking boba, bitch. Give my boba. Give my boba. Hey, let me drive, bro. I'll redeem it. Let me drive, bro. Hey, I believe in you, man. I believe.
Oh, you never drew a stick.
Hey, second time hard. Don't worry about it.
There you go.
Hey, CC.
He's shaking on it. What you mean?
He's
shaking on
up.
it.
He's up.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.